Hello and welcome to the subject of functional grammar. This is lecture 6 for those students who are interested to know more about the field of functional grammar. This lesson I have prepared particularly keeping in mind the request from students coming from India, Pakistan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. Hope you get benefit from my sincere effort. So, in this lecture, welcome back. And for this lesson, we depend upon Halliday's Introduction to Functional Grammar, which is our reference book for a study of this subject. In this lecture, we are going to talk about what is the relation between phonology and grammar. So let's discuss. And this is introduction part. As in the Halliday's book, we start. If we want to take a comprehensive view of English grammar, we must first make a journey into phonology. Look, normally students think that there is no deep connection between phonetics or phonology and grammar, but that is not so. If you go deep into it, you will come to know that no, as Halliday says, that we must first make a journey into phonology if we want to have comprehensive view of English grammar. It means that there is a relation between grammar and phonology. Point number 2. This is because there are some grammatical systems that are realized by prosodic means, for example, by the contrast between falling and rising tone. Look, in phonology, sometimes the way we speak with our falling and rising tone, it has its direct bearing and effect upon meaning. And when we say it has its direct bearing and effect upon meaning, it means that there are some grammatical systems that are realized by prosodic, that is prosody. We move on to the next. We can divide phonology into the two regions of articulation and prosody. Look here, phonology can be largely categorized into two broad regions, into two different categories, broad categories. The first one is articulation and the second one is prosody. Next, articulation. Let's first discuss about articulation. Articulation is defined as the act of speaking clearly. That's very much clear, no need to explain. An example of articulation is when a spelling teacher places careful emphasis on each syllable of a word for students to hear the sounds in the word. So articulation, as in the first point, is all about act of speaking very clearly. When we speak, we don't speak for ourselves, we speak for others. It is very easy to speak yourself and understand yourself, but as a speaker, we don't speak all the time for ourselves, we speak for others. Therefore, it is necessary on our part that our articulation must be made very clearly to the listener. That is the point number 1. Second point, when we speak or when we articulate any idea, any opinion, we sometimes put emphasis on each syllable of a word. Why? Because it makes the sounds of a word very clear to the listener and gives meaning accordingly in the context. Next, articulation. It is associated with smaller segments, typically phonemes, vowels, and consonants. Of course, when we articulate we have the role of vowels and consonants, that is to say phonemes. So articulation deals with smaller segments. And what are the smaller segments? Phonemes. And phonemes include vowels and consonants. But articulation is arbitrary, that is to say conventional. There is no systematic relation between sound and meaning, as emphasized by Saussure and further developed by other European structuralist linguists. So this is all about articulation. Articulation is arbitrary, it's conventional, and when we say articulation, that is about a speech. And when we talk about a speech, that is about sound, and there is no deep connection between sound and meaning. And this was already explained by Saussure in the field of linguistics. And this idea has further been promoted by European structuralist linguists. We move on to the next. Prosody. Prosody in language works in conveying meaning in the same manner as those of our facial expressions when we speak to someone. Look, if you want to understand what is prosody in a very simple term, let me tell you that prosody is all about conveying meaning, and conveying meaning in the same manner as those of our facial expressions when we speak to someone. When we speak, we just don't sit and without making any expression on our face, we start talking to someone. Sometimes when we talk to someone, our facial expressions have a lot to contribute to what we are speaking to someone. Prosody plays the same role in the language, in the sentence, as our facial expressions when we speak to someone. Point number 2. It is related to the rhythm and intonation. So prosody is directly related to the rhythm and intonation. A rhythm, a rhythm is related to the music, your melody, your way of speaking. And intonation is all about a rising and falling tone. Point number 3. Prosodic plays an important role in forming the stress patterns within words and phrases. So stress patterns within words and phrases. So prosody plays a very important role where to put a stress and where not to put a stress. It makes our speech more beautiful and more effective to the listener. We move on to the next. It refers to the way a speaker's voice rises and falls in a language. So prosody also refers to the way a speaker's voice rises and falls in a language. So a speaker in English language, particularly here we are talking about, does not speak in just one manner. When we speak, we have sometimes a rising tone, falling tone. Sometimes they put emphasis upon a particular word and phrases. Why? Because it gives a different meaning, different expression. Point number 5. Prosody is natural, just as grammar is in relation to semantics. Prosody is very natural, spontaneous, in the same manner as grammar is in relation to semantics. So there is a deep connection between grammar and semantics, between grammar and meaning of a sentence. Likewise, prosody is also very natural to us. How we speak, why does our rising tone happens, falling tone happens when we speak? Sometimes we are not very careful, it keeps on happening. So it's very, very natural to us when we speak. We move on to the next. Prosody is related systematically to meaning, and it has its effect on meaning because it does convey a different meaning when our tone is a bit different, when our style is a bit different. For example, if you say someone, how are you? And if you say, I'm fine, it's okay. It means that the person is fine. I'm fine. I am fine. It means the tone rising and falling. If it differs, it means gives a different expression, different meaning to the listener. Point number 7, it determines a rhythm, tempo, pitch, and loudness in a speech for conveying information. So, what we come to know that prosody plays a very important role. It determines our rhythm, our tempo, our pitch, loudness, and altogether convey a very different meaning to the listener. Normally, we don't care about prosody. Normally, we say that it has nothing to do with grammar, nothing to do with meaning, but no, it is very important. The way you speak, the way you pronounce, the syllable, the stress that you put on a particular syllable, it does have effect upon the meaning to the listener. We cannot ignore it. And the last point is the gateway between the two regions, articulation and prosody, is the syllable. It realizes prosodic features of intonation and rhythm. And that's all. Thank you and goodbye.